From the Last Jedi film, novelization, and from Battlefront 2, we know the Resistance is desperately searching for some allies to assist them. We know a few details about these allies. For example, from the Star Wars databank, we know many of the X-Wings that Resistance had were donated by sympathetic New Republic senators and local security forces. In the Last Jedi novelization, we know the Resistance had to reach out through coded channels to Snap Wexley, Jess Pava, and the other pilots Leia had sent to gather the New Republic's surviving commanders. They needed to recruit allies from the Outer Rim, contact senators and planetary leaders who were seeking protection from the First Order. They had to corral military forces left leaderless by the strike at Hosnian Prime, and they also reactivated C-3PO's network of droid spies. So a lot going on. And going off of that past history of the rebellion and connections to other pieces in canon, I will present all the options as potential resistance allies and the likelihood of these allies answering the call to join the Resistance, specifically in Episode 9. First up, Mon Cala. Mon Cala was a planet home to the Mon Calamari on the Outer Rim that has a rich history of defiance. Mon Cala was actually one of the planets Palpatine wanted to destroy with the Death Star, and it played a large role in supplying capital ships for the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic Defense Fleet. So we know they have capital shipyards that function. They hate to be subjugated, they don't like something like the First Order, and they could be really pissed, like the rest of us were, that Akbar was killed. I see the likelihood of Mon Cala joining the Resistance officially at a 10 out of 10. Lothal. Lothal was also a planet on the Outer Rim with strong Rebel Alliance ties. After being under Imperial control for some time, they became a prosperous planet once they were free. While they may not be able to contribute significant resources in terms of ships, I could see them joining as a planet and sending resources and pilots specifically to the cause. Odds of joining the Resistance, 8 out of 10, but probably only mentioned in books and other materials, not so much on screen. The Mandalore System. The Mandalore System was home to planets of the Mandalorians. The Mandalorians have never really been shown on the big screen outside of the Fets. They've had their moments in the Clone Wars and Rebels, but as a historically strong warrior race, they could help out the Resistance in a big way, especially with the background and unification in Rebels, the TV show. I'm going to say odds are high, higher than I would have thought actually, that they're going to actually have an on-screen appearance and that they will have significant forces in terms of tech and fleet to combat the First Order. Ryloth. They're always up for a rebellion, so I don't see why they wouldn't be now in this point in the timeline. They probably don't have large resources to contribute, but they do in terms of leadership and strategy with the Syndulla family line. Odds of someone from Ryloth appearing on screen, 7 out of 10, but probably in the background just as a cameo. Sullust. This planet again was on the Outer Rim and was a manufacturing hotbed with Rebel Alliance history. Nia Num was one of the few remaining Resistant members to escape Crate on board the Millennium Falcon, so there's a live connection there to call for help. I believe this will be another background aid thing where we won't see them on screen, so definitely low chances, like 2 out of 10 seeing a Sulstan fleet or army, but I'm sure in novelizations and comics the planet will come to the Resistance's side. The Chiss ascendancy. This one is a pipe dream, but you never know. First off, nothing is really known yet what the plans are for the Chiss in the new Star Wars canon. Well, all we really know so far is what is in the Thrawn novel. They are in the unknown regions, and we haven't seen them side with the First Order. They either are dealing with threats larger than the First Order, or that threat is/was Snoke and the First Order, as mentioned in the novel. It could be possible that Ezra bridges the gap to the Chiss, and an alliance is brokered to eliminate the larger fleet of the First Order. Odds of making that in the film is like a 1 out of 10. Do I want to see a Chiss fleet pop out of hyperspace with Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine and Thrawn all on one side? Maybe? But yeah, no way that's happening. Lando Calrissian. Last thing we heard from Lando is 28 years after the Battle of Yavin, before the Resistance started, as he sends good wishes to Leia. He's a crucial part of the Rebel Alliance in history, and he's very likely to come to the aid of Leia if she calls. I would say near 10 out of 10 to see him on screen, but honestly it really depends on Billy D. Williams, the actor, if he wants to take that role. If not, he's definitely going to be tied into the comics, books, materials somehow. Other possibilities that aren't necessarily just a planet could include pirate forces of some kind. Hondo, for example, could rally pirate forces to supplement a resistance fleet. We know Elodie Markavana took control of the Annihilator, a superstar destroyer that once belonged to the Empire, which they renamed Liberty's Misrule. With the superstar destroyer, she basically became known as the pirate ruler of wild space. So I, for one, would like to see a superstar destroyer, part of the Resistance, go up against those First Order Star Destroyers. I thought that would be pretty cool to see, kind of both eras on screen in battle. Odds of this happening are probably just a 4 out of 10, though pretty low, especially with the Superstar Destroyer. But I could definitely see, Hondo and just a pirate ragtag forces joining up the Resistance. The Resistance's main problems will be having a navy to counter the First Order navy. I mean, enough pissed off people from a large galaxy can get you people to fight, but you can't make capital warships out of thin air. I think plenty of systems will back the Resistance, which is kind of the point of that Canto Bight scene, that the downtrodden will assist somehow. And a lot of that dialogue about starting a spark in the galaxy, that all these things are going to bear fruits later. But just think about how long it took the Rebel Alliance to get the ships they did. It took them years to get large ships. And most security forces are corvettes or smaller ships, not large capital ships. With the Disarmament Act, I am not sure where they will find them all. But this list I made should be a good start, especially if the Mon Cala or Chiss or some other sympathizer is still churning out some warships. So what do you think of this ally list? Who do you think will answer the call of the Resistance? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and you can always support the channel by checking out my Patreon page. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next Star Wars lore.